Greetings, Star Citizens, and welcome to Flight Deck. This is a weekly podcast about Star Citizen and other gamer culture topics. I'm your host, Link Static MDK, and with me, as always, is Paper Thin.
We sound different.
We sound different. We got new mics. I have a new headset, but the headset's like too good. I can't hear myself talk, so I have to be really careful about not talking too loud.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. I just kind of sit kind of far back away from mine, so
Right. Yeah.
if I get a little aggressive, and the
Well,
pop screen should help too. So
I guess.
anyway,
We're still work in progress, though. I mean, there's only so
yeah.
much we can do because we suck. And today's topics, segue done. We have Galactic Guide Tyrol System, Around the Verse Episode 40, Test Drive, The Racing Ships, 10 for the Producers, Episode 5, and Clean Shot Nexus Comtrap, and then Galactic Guide Vega System. So not a ton going on this week. We haven't had any major design posts or anything like that, but we still got some cool information. Let's start off with the Galactic Guide Tyrol System, since we like to go now in order of when stuff came out. So the Tyrol system, it's a large-scale red giant that will probably go supernova sometime in the next 1,000 years. They're not sure exactly when, so that should be fun
Probably
when it
like
happens.
5 years after launch.
Boom! I wonder what's going to happen. Supermassive black hole, or will it just collapse into like a dwarf? Or
Red giants. It depends on how big it is, but it'll probably collapse into a black hole.
Awesome, awesome. Let's get popcorn when that happens.
I am totally down.
So you can't really own property in the system. They've made that a thing, which makes me sad.
Ooh.
Because, black hole front property is totally worth it. It's been declared a scientific research zone, and the smuggling community has set up roots on the first couple planets. There's a large moon there that they had a old research station at, but they call it Front Row. So, front row for death, I guess, is the joke. It's the best place for making illicit and illegal deals, so I'm sure I'll go there at least once or twice. Let's see. Tyrol 2, that one's an iron core dead world. Tyrol 3 is a mineral-rich dead planet. Tyrol 4 is a gas giant without an atmosphere. I don't know how the hell that would be.
I know. I read that and I was like, what?
Is it still a gas giant if there's no gas?
I don't know.
I don't know. But apparently it was a source of gems, and they're now hard to find. There's Tyrol 5, which they also refer to as Haven. It's a desolate rock on the surface, and then there are chasms and underground caverns. It's kind of like a last chance community for the irredeemable dregs of society that nobody likes. Then Tyrol 6 is a gas giant, which we can use for refueling, and Tyrol 7 is a small protoplanet. So a lot going on in this system, although it kind of sounds like it's a butthole of a system, frankly. Like, I don't know if I want to hang out there more than like a couple of days.
Yeah, it sounds like the science people will have stuff to do here, maybe some smuggling and maybe some mining type stuff, but that's about
Right.
it.
Well,
So nothing too exciting going on.
that we know of. I mean, this
Yeah.
could be like the most important system. We just don't know it yet because of
Right,
location or something like that. Yeah.
That's true. You never know. We don't have the star map yet, so
It could be like, oh, of course we're going to set up a base at Tyrol because it intersects these major trade routes and it's in between these two locations and blah, blah, blah.
yeah. I don't
We'll
know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Sounds cool though. It's one of the more interesting systems so far, I think.
Well, I don't know about interesting. I thought Helios was pretty cool, actually. And Spider
Oh, yeah.
and all those. I don't know.
They're all cool.
I mean, I want to visit them all, so it's kind of like, yeah.
It's like Pokemon. You
You
gotta
gotta catch them. Oh, Pokemon. So let's cut to Around the Verse episode 40. This one was 35 minutes and 31 seconds long. They started with the Empire Report, as they always do. We have first story of the Empire Report was former slave fights back. So it sounds like somebody's taken to court some people to get their stuff back that ended up being freed as a slave.
I think
So-
the CIG people have just been watching a lot of Game of Thrones.
Probably. Can you blame them?
No, I cannot.
Of course, they should be reading it instead.
Oh,
Ah,
snap. You're probably right.
throw down. Books are better. I'm taking this stance.
That's an acceptable stance to take, I would say.
Okay, good. The second story was there's a real estate boom on some outer system. They didn't really specify what system, so who knows?
We might talk about that later.
I don't know. I don't know if they mean Vega.
Oh, they might not. That's
Eh.
kind of what I was guessing.
Well, it would be interesting, yeah. Then there's a Navy ship surplus, so good time to buy new ships and get swag.
Surprise!
Yeah.
That was kind of a funny one to me. I'm like,
Every time.
no
Yeah.
kidding.
No kidding.
Shit. Oh,
No shitting? What?
no shitting. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You said it.
Oh no. The horror. Let's cut to the intro and news portion. So this is Ben and Sandy talking. 79 million's been hit. I checked yesterday and it was still 79 million. We haven't hit 80 yet, so no parades. Although I don't know if we actually care about parades after we hit 50 million. Star Citizen Alpha is what we're calling the new patch, which we talked about already. Rec and Aurora balancing upcoming, so look forward to that. And the FPS design post came out, all of which we talked about last week, so cool.
Cool.
Let's get into the Spectrum news. So first up, we had Santa Monica, which had Darian and Lisa. First thing they mentioned that I was really excited about was the Hull series concepting is being done, and I think it's been mentioned several times now that the Hull series should actually be coming out on like the 24th. So
Yeah, Friday, I think, right?
2 days. Yeah. Well, and they had some preliminary prices that they announced for them too, and it was kind of like all over the board. You got like the Hull Series A is like a starter ship cost, right? But then the E is like $500 or something. It's pretty big.
Yeah, they were. That ship's gonna be huge from what it sounds like. So I'm excited to see them.
Well, like I've got a reclaimer for like cargo hauling, so would it be worth it for me even to get a haul?
I don't see why. I mean, yeah, it'll haul more stuff, but that's all you can do. You can't mine with them. You can't. As
Can't
far as I know.
salvage, yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure you can, but you'd have to buy like all these upgrades and trade out these sections and blah blah blah.
Right.
I don't know.
I was thinking about maybe getting like the second level one, the B,
hmm
but I'll have to see what they look like, and
Well,
I don't know.
like I've got my freelancer DUR, and the problem with my DUR is it's not as heavily like cargo area as
Right.
all the others, but like it's got the extended sensors and it's got the extended fuel tank, so I'm kind of like I can't haul as much, but I can haul it further. So I don't know, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I
It's
have the
tough.
Constellation, so
Yeah,
and that's gonna haul a decent amount of stuff already. So
right.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, then, yeah, like I said, we got the next stage up with my reclaimer too if we want to be hauling cargo. So
Exactly.
it's tough, man. Tough.
Friggin' first world problems right here, dude.
Yep. Ah, man. I'm gonna have to like be careful, or I'm gonna get back pain from like seeing on all these piles of cash. Anyway, so they also talked about the character creating pipeline is being finished up, so they're trying to finalize how they create characters, and with that, they actually mentioned that the Citizens of Terra are being fleshed out, so that's going to be, the high society people and what they look like, what they wear, all that information, which eventually we'll see, but it won't be for quite a while yet.
Yeah, it'll be a
Then
while.
Arena Commander 1.1.2 is introducing the new tutorial system, so that's the one that we have to look forward to before they come out with 1.1.3, which should be our FPS module, which is the one
They-
we actually care about.
I think they changed that numbering. I think it's gonna be 1.2 is gonna be the FPS.
Oh, okay.
I think it's getting confusing, but I think that's what they decided on.
2 patches from now is what I go with. Yeah,
Yeah,
who cares
exactly.
about the number? 2 patches from now, we get our FPS, we get to be happy.
Yay!
So it'll probably be after you come back, given that they haven't come out with 1.1.2 yet. Or
Yeah, it
whatever.
sounds like they're
Yeah.
further off than I thought.
It makes me sad, but at the same time, it better be amazing when it finally comes out for making me wait so long. Dang it. Yeah. They're also fine tuning the multi crew tech since now they have some multi crew stuff to go off of with the addition of Cutlass, Hornet, and Gladiator all having the turret, so we'll see.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's cut down to Ilphonic. That was with David and Chuck. Their SATA ball is being worked on. I wasn't really excited about this. I gotta say, like normally when they mention FPS stuff, I'm like, oh, cool. But, like I don't really care about SATA ball. I'd rather know that the FPS is coming out quicker than them working on a different mode for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand it in a way where they want to have a couple different modes when it comes
Yeah.
out, just like they did with Arena Commander.
Yeah.
You know, so there's stuff for people who don't want to do combat, have
Like
something to do, like there was
like they
racing
have
mode.
racing. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it in a way, but I'm with you. I'd rather they just get FPS out sooner rather than later, but
Yeah.
I get it. It makes sense, and it sounds kind of fun.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, they have the SATA ball, just for background of people that don't know what it is. It's a zero-G sport mode where you use kind of grappling hooks and you shoot a ball into a goal. Uh, and with that, they've kind of broken up the previs visualization, and they're kind of with previs, they're visualizing and improving a project before they actually go through and make the attempt. And like Chris Roberts has apparently looked at this and really liked what they're doing, so they can move forward. Other than that, they're also working on improving network performance for FPS, so less latency and skipping and all that. They also are working on the crumple jump for zero G, that's where you rotate and push off of an object. So like you're flying towards a wall, you spin so your feet face the wall, and you plant, and then you push off of it.
Easily the coolest thing
Yeah,
out of Ilphonic's update this week.
it
like,
would probably
oh,
look
awesome.
really cool, and
Yeah.
it totally makes sense. Yeah.
It's a cool feature, yeah.
Then we got scaling SATA ball down to be a more manageable size for players, because apparently it was too large before. So we have nothing to compare it against because we don't know how big it was.
Right.
Well, and then let's cut to Austin, where they had Jake, Patrick, Mark, Court, and Ian. They're having an environment summit. So the environment summit is where all their various studios get together and try and make a consistent environment between all the various parts. So you got Squadron 42, the Persistent Universe, Arena Commander, FPS, and they wanted them all to follow the same system and work the same way. And, then they went into like a long, in-depth explanation of what that all entails. So,
Yay.
yay. It wasn't super exciting. I'm going to be honest. It's necessary, but it's one of those necessary things you don't really care that much about until you notice it's not there.
Right, exactly. It's like, well, thanks for mentioning it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. It's hard to be excited about something you just expect to happen automatically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and then they also were sharing treats from around the globe, so yay. Although I wish they had
Yay.
stuff like Pocky and stuff like that there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff is good.
Oh, it's addictive.
No doubt.
It's like crack.
I know. They have it at the grocery store in our hometown now.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they have like a little Asian section now in our podunk
Just
town.
as Pocky?
It has other stuff.
Oh,
It
okay.
is like Vietnamese noodles, pho
Okay.
and other stuff. So anyway,
Good to know. Well, and then last but not least, we have Foundry 42, where they had a new QA guy named Michael who was talking about it. Good name, by the way. For that. Yeah.
yeah.
Currently, they're working on resolving network and matchmaking issues. So, a lot of people have been having issues where they have been kicked out or they weren't able to connect or whatever. I'm sure most of you have experienced that. I know I have. Servers are essentially allowing too many players into games that the game rules actually allow. So, like, if it's a 4v4 game, they're letting like 5 people in on one team and like 4 people on the other or whatever. So it's making it crash.
Oops.
Whoops. There was a rumor on the forums that Dying Star map is a more stable environment, but that's actually BS, so don't believe it. Which I hadn't heard that rumor, so.
I hadn't heard it either, and I wouldn't have believed it. I don't think. Anyway.
Like, why would Dying Star be better than Broken Moon? I don't believe it at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably just because less people play Dying Star because it's a darker map.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. And then they're also working on tutorial testing, getting that up to snuff. And then they're actually going to be having some cross CIG testing to stress their servers. So hopefully that will include players too, like they've been doing. Although I wish they would one time do it when I'm not working,
Right.
It's like every time they're like, oh, we're going to be doing a community playtest. Well, those hours happen to be when I am in a meeting or working,
Yeah, they should stop catering to you Europeans.
Dang Europeans.
I kid.
No, you don't. You're 100% serious.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
completely.
After that, we had Just Bob. This isn't supposed to be here. It's the video that actually was on Reddit and floating around. Actually, there have been several videos like this where it's the dude with the M50 who flies into the asteroid hangar that he finds on Dying Star,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is
that was
really cool
pretty
that
funny.
it's there. I like that
Yeah.
it's there, actually. So,
I was really surprised. I was like, why the heck is that in there?
is it a
That
bug or is it something they're introducing later on that they're actually going to have and it like got in a little too early or,
I would assume the latter.
hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd
Where
be a
you launch
weird.
from your
I don't
hangar
know how the
into the
hell.
map.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Like you have
Right?
like your team spawning in two different hangars, right? And then
Oh, that'd be so
you
cool.
all run into your ships, and then you take off, and then you fly out the top. Oh,
It'd be like friggin' Star Fox.
yep,
You have like that beginning where you got like the cut intro where you're taking off and
right. But this would be all like player controlled because you'd actually
yeah,
take off.
exactly.
There would be, there's gonna be dicks that ram you too.
Oh well, that's just a given.
And by no, I mean it's gonna be you.
Hey,
I
at
so
least mine won't usually be intentional. Usually.
that is true. Although, that's not. Never mind. Moving
Well,
on.
yeah.
After that, we had Darian Vorlik interviewing Lisa Ohanian. Lisa's the new producer that they've had on several times now, who just kind of showed up one day. You know, it was like, oh, and now Lisa Ohanian, and it's like, who? um, I felt that they actually had pretty good interview chemistry between the two of them. Like, there's a silliness going between the where it's like, oh, we'll be serious, but at the same time, this is weird and awkward that we're doing an interview, so let's just go with it.
Yeah, I liked it. I think Darian actually does a really good job overall. Like, I think he's
Yeah.
actually really charismatic, and I
Mhm.
enjoy his stuff for the most part. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's
I like that he
helps.
messes around, especially during the tens for the producers, whereas like he'll say names really weird, even though it's obviously not that, or he'll like move props around while the camera's not focused on them. So when you come
Yep,
back, there's always something weird going on.
yep.
Yeah, I appreciate stuff like that. It appeals to me.
Yeah, and Lisa did a good job rolling with it. She clearly gets his sense of humor and
Yeah.
can play off of it, so it was good.
Mhm. So she is the producer for the art team. That's what they've got her primarily focused on, and with that, deals with all the ship scheduling and contractors and outsourcing and all of that they have to go with, and scheduling up meetings, reviews, letting people see, okay, this is what this art project looks like, this is what this concept looks like, this is what this finalized version looks like, this is this in line with what we wanted, does this make sense,
Yeah.
so it's a lot of that behind the scenes work, but at the same time it's probably pretty cool to be looking at pictures of this awesome stuff all day.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I love this, but I don't like that because of that. Oh,
Well, it'd be like
it'd be fun.
you remember when they had the next great starship,
Right.
where we kept getting to see those ships and the progressions and stuff. She gets to
Yeah.
do that like every day, and I watched like I religiously watched the next great starship.
It was a good program. I bought the ship from the next great starship
You
that won.
did.
The other gunship, though, I forget what it was called. I really wish that one would come out too. The flatter one. Oh,
Yep.
it-
The last two, the final
Yeah.
two, were both so good.
yeah. I wish they were both in there. I mean, the Redeemer, it was the cooler looking ship, so of course it wins.
Yep.
But the other one was I would own both of them for different reasons.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, then we had with that she's apparently got a giant XLS monstrosity sheet that she has to use. And as somebody who deals with giant monstrosity XLS sheets, thanks to test planning and all this other junk, I totally related to everything she said about it being a giant pain in the butt.
It really is.
I too hate having to do it, but how else can you? So.
Yeah, I don't know of any other better ways personally, but then again, I don't have to deal with that stuff nearly as much. So.
It really sucks, man. It really does. And then they're also talking about some of the stuff they're excited for. There's the world environments where they'll have like unique settings and how things will look. And there's also all these Vandal concepts coming up, which I am probably more excited in the Vandal concepts than I am the worlds. But I do want to see both of them, so
Yeah, I'm equally excited myself.
equally.
I'm pretty even keeled on that, on the excitement there.
Yep.
It's all good.
Get hyped.
I,
And then after that, we had Ben versus Sandy, where they opened with a Star Trek skit, which was like I was entertained by it, but I hated that I was entertained by it at the same time. Do you know what I mean by that?
I do.
I'm like, I shouldn't like this. I
I was
really
like,
shouldn't.
this is so cheesy and corny, but I really like this. Like, this is
Yeah,
something I would think up.
yeah. Oh God. Well, and then they had their match finally to determine the quote unquote winner, and Sandy killed Ben. But I feel like it was rigged for the masses. I'm just throwing that out there. That's
Yeah,
my that's
she
my
was probably
conspiracy
in like
theory.
she was probably in like a Gladius, and he was in like a Aurora or something.
Well, she was in like an M50, I think, and he was in a Gladius.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but like I remember him dying, and she's like, ah, and I'm like, I don't feel like that was straight up what would happen. No, I feel like it was rigged just so that they can have more skits in the future, where like Ben is like going on a redemptive journey, like Rocky 2 style,
I
Uh,
can see them coming out with a montage in our next in a future episode,
like he's
like a training montage.
instead of chasing chickens or something, he's chasing controllers or what,
You're
something
gonna
weird
need
like
a montage.
montage, montage. Even Rocky had a montage. Man, we'll see. Then for their outro, they mentioned Gamescom tickets are available. So pick those up if you're interested in going to Gamescom. There's also CitizenCon details, which will be upcoming, but I haven't heard anything new about that yet. I looked and I didn't see anything new. Um,
Yeah.
there's also for the Empire reports, they've done a bunch of segments upcoming for the show, and they're actually going to allow citizens to create the new backdrop for the Empire report. So if you're really good at creating backdrops, go for it. Why not?
Yeah. Do it.
It should be
Good luck.
pretty cool to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Also, this week the racing ships have been unlocked, so everybody who was interested in trying the Mustang Gamma 350R or the M50, give them a shot. I've flown them all before, so I wasn't too
Yeah.
excited. I was like, oh, I've played all those.
Yeah,
But
I have too, but
it
I
would
like them.
it would be nice for the 350R to be working this time, though.
Yeah, that would be a bonus. I think did they fix those bugs? I can't remember now.
Yeah, now loads with all the thrusters
Uh,
working instead of
that
broken,
helps.
supposedly.
That helps.
It usually does, yeah. It's amazing how well it flies when its engines are actually loaded, functioning.
Shocker
Yeah.
there.
Crazy guys. Then our sneak peek this week was the FPS armor, which looks much better. Oh my god.
Yep. It
Is
looks
that
really
the
good.
medium armor you think, or is that like a light?
I thought
It's
maybe
definitely not a
light.
heavy.
No, I thought maybe light based on previous ones we've seen,
Right.
but we don't know because they haven't actually said. And it would, if any of
Yeah.
these sneak peeks are, what model, if they're
I,
light, heavy.
I figured it was the medium upcoming version, just from like what we'd seen before, because it seemed like it had decent protective armor, and like the light armors are supposed to be like super not protective. I don't know.
That could be. Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say.
Well, and like they're watch Reverse the Verse to find out. I didn't get a chance to watch Reverse the Verse. I rarely do. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I just don't have time to watch Reverse the Verse. It's long.
Not with everything else that we watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the test drive for the racing ships. Have you had a chance to try any of the ones that they mentioned were on
Um.
rotation?
Well, a while ago,
Yeah.
I flew all the Mustangs. They were available at one point. I
Right.
did fly the M50. I actually personally prefer the M50 over the 350R. Like even when the 350R is working
Really?
properly.
Hmm.
I just like the way it handles a little better. As a racer, not as like
Right.
a combat ship.
Yeah.
The Mustang Gamma is kind of it's okay. I like it. It's relatively maneuverable, so that is kind of my personal preference
Right.
in ships. So I like maneuverability over a lot of other things. So overall, they're all pretty good, and
Like,
they all actually make good dogfighters too.
I give Mustangs a lot of crap because I'm just like I feel like the Mustang was an unnecessary ship when they already had the Aurora. You know what I mean? But
Wasn't it because people voted on it or something?
I don't
Didn't we get the
remember.
Mustang? I know it's been so long. I
Yeah.
think the Mustang might have been one of those ships that got voted on.
Well, like I kind of feel like it's an unnecessary starter ship. Like it's fine to have in game, but I don't feel like it should be something that people can start with. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
That said, it's a pretty good ship.
it is. It
You
is
know,
a
it
good ship.
flies really well. It's got decent maneuverability, decent visuals, decent armament, all that. So
I really like the cockpits in the Mustangs
yeah, they
a
look
lot.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I like the profile too. Like the profile of the ship looks really cool.
yeah, it does. It's one of the more unique ships.
Yeah.
Not a lot of sleekness to it. It's almost kind of uh arachnid. You know what I
I
mean?
get what
Like,
you mean because it's got kind of like it's got that little like bended, folded wings that give like a little leg look to a bug or something. Yeah,
yeah, like it almost felt like the bugs in Starship Troopers, the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Kind of felt like that.
Well, like if I was going to have a racer chip of all of these, I'd probably get the M50 just
Yep,
because I like the look of it and the handling the best on that one. So
I'm right there with you on that.
I don't know. Not that the others, I wouldn't mind with any of the others though. I would be like, oh darn, I only have a 350R or Gamma or an Omega, you know.
Right,
So
right.
we'll see.
Yeah, they'll all be customizable eventually, anyway.
Mhm. Let's cut to 10 for the producers, episode 5. This is with Darian and Travis. And I gotta say, I think I like this combination the best. For
Yep.
like all the like weird one-off interview, two guys talking, or two chicks talking, or a guy and a chick talking, or you know, whatever. I like this combo the best of all of the people that they have that do these segments.
I agree. I like
Oh,
these two a lot.
yeah.
They really do a good job. They're they're very thoughtful with their comments.
Well, they're
And
professional, but they're not robots, and they
exactly.
try and make it light and fun because they realize it's an entertainment type thing
Yeah.
as well. So,
Just like we try to do and fail miserably.
oh, we do? Oh crap! I forgot we were supposed to be trying to make this entertaining. Dang it! Oh
Way to
man,
go.
knew I've been doing something wrong for 20 plus episodes. Oh man,
What are we on? 26? I've lost count.
I lost count. I usually have to look at like what I'm saving it as and look at what
Yeah.
the previous one is to know what number we're on before I upload it. So.
Yeah, it's just like they're all starting to blur together at this point. And it's only been like 26 episodes. Come
I
on.
know. Oh man, we got terrible memories.
We really do.
Anyway, so the first question for the producers was the retractable wings in space. Why bother? And I'm kind of like, yeah, I totally get that. But it sounds like they're trying to. They're like, yeah, it's purely for cosmetics purposes, but we're also trying to give them a function as well. So
Yeah.
the example they gave was on the Retaliator. They're adding thrusters to the wingtips. So if you like adjust the wings to be pointed backwards, you'll gain increased thrust momentum forward. Whereas if you adjust them to be pointed to the side, you increase your profile, but you upgrade your maneuverability. So I don't know. Uh, I'm
I
kind of like
guess.
I'm kind of like you could just not have the wings and then have thrusters right on the hull that rotate and do these same things,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't look as cool. So
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting idea.
yeah,
I don't know. Whatever. If people want it in the game, I actually can't begrudge them. If they think it's cool and they want
well,
to have little status changes because their wings are swept or not,
like
fine.
what's the point of the X-wing wings opening or the B-wing wings opening? They're really you don't need it. It just looks cool.
That's a really good point.
I
There
mean,
is no point.
yeah, lock S-foils in attack position. Okay,
Well, yeah, if you're fighting in space, it makes no difference. So.
yeah. Well, they're more aerodynamic in the atmosphere without their stuff spread out like that too. So it's kind of
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, the B wing wouldn't be, but
Well, yeah, the B wing's actually probably better off spread out, but the X
right.
wing would be way better off not spread out. So
Yeah, I can't see any benefit to that.
whatever. Anyway,
Moving on.
question 2: radiating heat within your ship. Um, so this to me, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. like if they should have it or should not have it. I feel like if you can like have a heat sink that this all goes to, and then you like launch the heat sink, that's kind of an unnecessary item.
Yeah,
I,
I don't know that I understand that. I don't. It doesn't make a lot of sense from a physics perspective because okay, so you have a heat sink, so that's still going to show up where all that thermal energy is getting
yeah,
transferred into it.
exactly. Like I don't.
It might help a little because it's dispersing the thermal energy, but
Right.
not a lot.
Oh,
It's,
it's
I mean,
tough.
like they were saying in this post that a fusion engine generates a lot of heat.
No, really?
Yeah, it's
I figured
crazy
it'd
to
be
think
like you
about.
could just touch it with your tip of your finger and nothing would bad happen. No
Yeah,
good.
it's just strange how it's 2015 and we still don't have fusion engines that work properly because it requires a tremendous amount of heat to do
Well,
or pressure.
this
But
is why you need cold fusion. Why haven't you fixed that yet?
yeah,
No.
I'm sorry, I'm working on it. I
You've
got my
wasted your
garage here,
life.
and
You've
yeah,
wasted your life not developing cold fusion.
I
Good
know.
job.
I can I could just claim I did it and then get notoriety for like 2 months, and
Two
then
months until
eventually I'll
people
be
prove you
debunked.
wrong, and then
Yeah.
they'll be like, "This jackass."
Actually, you just created some novel chemical process, which is kind of neat, but that's not fusion.
The novel chemical process, formerly known as cold fusion. Oh well.
Anyway, so okay, cool. I mean, I'm down on
Yay.
I'm down on the whole being able to stealth and mask your signature stuff. I like it as part of the game, so I'll
Right.
allow it as kind of a they'll break physics a little bit to make it more
Well,
interesting.
gameplay over physics, but like I don't want it to
Yes,
be stupid. Yeah.
right.
Like I'll allow for there to be transporters in Star Trek just because it's a cool plot device, but it's still pretty dumb.
You're still killing yourself every time you get teleported
Yeah,
somewhere.
you are. You're literally killing yourself every time you teleport, or you're creating a clone of yourself, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, I was reading a great, as a quick aside, I was reading a great philosophy discussion about teleporters and how what if the machine screwed up, copied you, sent you somewhere, but didn't delete you? What would they do? Because there'd be
They,
two of you.
there was literally a Star Trek episode.
Was it really? Which one? Was it
The
Next Generation?
Next Generation, when Riker was rescuing people from a colony as a lieutenant, and like he beamed and like his transporter beam got split and like half of it went back to the planet and half of it went up to the ship. So like they thought it was successful, but like the version that went down to the planet that was still him was stranded and nobody came to look for him for like
Oh, I do
seven
remember that
years
one.
or
He was in
something.
like a cave or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was some weird underground complex or
Yeah,
whatever.
I remember
Yeah.
that now. Yeah,
And they're like, well, nobody's missing because Riker's here on the ship. Okay, let's
right,
go on. And then,
right.
7 years later or something, they come back and
Hey,
there's his
look who's
clone
here.
transporter itself. Yeah.
That's cool. I'll have to rewatch
Um,
that episode.
yeah, this is what Netflix has given me is a reminder of all the Star Trek episodes of every single series because they're all on Netflix.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really sad because I can pop those in and like be doing something else and just be listening to it. And I'm like, oh, I know exactly what's going on whenever I come back, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, moving away from the fact that I'm a giant nerd, visual gesturing and communicating with others. Question 3. So when I'm like, they gotta be careful with what visual gesturing they allow. Was the first thing I wanted to say about this. Second thing, yeah, it would be cool if you could do it all in game, but I don't want it to be tedious either. You know?
Right. It sounded like they have the right idea, in my opinion. Where yeah, capital ships will have the functions they're kind of looking for here with being able to like identify targets and have your fleet focus on certain targets and
Right.
do your orders and
Attack
that kind
this
of thing.
target. Priority 1, priority 2.
Right, but the
Yeah.
smaller ships just won't have as robust of capabilities like the constellations and stuff.
Yeah, but like if your Bengal carrier can go, okay, attack this, bombers attack this frigate, and fighters attack these Vandal, it makes
Right.
sense.
Exactly. That's necessary and awesome.
Yeah. Plus, probably really fun to watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fun to do.
Fun to do, fun to watch,
It's all
fun
good.
for the whole family. Question 4: facial capture and animating fans in game. So I thought this was actually a really good idea, but I agree with them that it's more hassle than it's worth.
Right. If there was an easy way to do it, I'd be
Oh, that'd be so
hands
cool.
down. I'd
Yeah,
be letting them scan my face in a heartbeat. But
like
yeah,
I'm. This might be a really good fan project for people that have way too much time and money on their hands. They can be like, "Hey, CIG, you don't have to worry about anything. We'll convert it all for you, and we'll do that with fans for you. So you guys don't have to waste your time and effort, and we'll just give you the finished files at the end." You know?
that would be interesting, and that would be cool.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be like a streamlined way to kind of do this to make it
Well,
at least like. I mean, it's never going to be up to CIG standards because their
yeah.
standards are through the roof.
but
But
like,
you're right. I think like a group of players might be able to do this in like a acceptable way that people wouldn't
yeah.
even notice if they're just walking by them on the street. You know,
Mm.
not like I'm gonna get right up to them and inspect their face and be like,
It's
oh
like,
no,
nope, nope,
no,
nope. His
no,
pores are not quite right.
exactly.
Yeah.
You didn't get the pimple on his face.
Oh
No,
man.
no.
Yep. I'm out. I'm out.
I can never play this game again.
Done. I was with this game until I didn't see a pimple on that guy's face. Now I'm out. Question 5, which was the best question to me, was, hey, when will the FPS module be released?
Hey,
That's all we really care about. That's all anybody really cares about. Let's be real here for a second.
I
When's
know.
the FPS module coming out, CIG? Thank God somebody asked it, because that's really what I wanted to know. So they're like, it'll be released as soon as Chris Roberts says it's good enough to be
They
released.
were
And I'm like,
super
sad.
evasive. Super
Which,
evasive on this one.
all right, so let's speculate, because that's what we're best at, is random speculation without any factual evidence backing it up. I'm going with June.
Yeah, I mean, based on what they said in this, it didn't. It felt like early June at the best.
Right, like it doesn't feel like it's coming out in May anymore, not with all the
Oh,
stuff that they're changing and adding, and like they want to put Sadaball in, and they want to get Sadaball working properly, and they're revamping the sound system, and you know, that to me is like, all right, so a week for development, another 2 weeks of player testing, another week of persistent universe, and then it comes out.
yep, that's about what I was thinking.
But could also come out next week. What the hell do we know?
Right.
Yeah. So
Please make us eat our words.
yes,
Please.
yes, please. But I mean, the trend for every single release ever has been after.
Couple months.
Yeah. So I don't think we were shocked when we didn't get it at the end of March, like initially
Nope.
proposed. We were
Nope.
like, oh, coming out into March, right?
Yeah.
Although I did figure it'd be out by May, so that makes me a little sad.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping, but
Yeah.
I can wait.
It'll be awesome when it finally comes, and in the meantime, we'll just play more Heroes of the Storm and other games
Yep.
like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So question 6, backer-driven changes in game. So for this one, it was talking about like how do we balance, making a game fun versus realistic. You've got all these players that are like, hey, I can tell you for certain that this is not how that would work because I am a engineer and I
Right.
literally am a rocket scientist, so blah blah blah, and here's the equations and all that. That's all really cool, but at the same time, to get it to that level will take too long and also not be as fun game wise. So let's not go that route, was
Right.
the general attitude, which I totally agree with.
Yep. Yep. I'm 100% in agreement with them here.
Well, it's like every time I see a hacker movie or something like that, right? Where the dude is like sitting down and he likes like 5 lines of C code, and all of a sudden the Pentagon's hacked, and everybody's like, "Wow, you're amazing!" And I'm like, "What? where's the 3 years of him sitting in his garage, poring over lines of code, looking for one small scrap of a thing that he can exploit, and then make use of the system through there?" No, and that's like the genius level hacker doing that. It's not the, oh, I write 4 lines of an if statement, and all of a sudden the aliens have a virus that disables their shields in Independence Day.
Right. I mean, I know there are competitions for hackers to like break security systems, and like it takes them like half a day at at best to like break some of these, assuming there aren't any like really easy glaring
glitches or bugs. Yeah.
exactly.
Well, it's like usually when you hear about somebody who's done something like that, is they've been spending like 6 hours a night for like 6 months doing nothing but that. It's not
Right.
a 5 second. Oh, this is how you do it. Done.
Right, and they already have years and years and years of tools and
Right.
things they've built for themselves already to use to try and
Yeah.
get their way in. So yeah, absolutely.
That said, it would be a really boring movie if you had
Exactly.
something like that. So that's kind of my look at. Oh well, we could make it realistic, but no one would give a shit then.
Well, you know what we could do?
What
We could make a montage.
montage? Everybody does montage.
All right.
Pearl Harbor sucked. Question 7: prioritizing bug fixes in development. So this was. I think they've answered similar, but not like. I kind of feel like 10 for the Producers 3 or something had a thing that was about the same question, right?
Maybe. Probably. This
I feel like this has
felt
been asked previously.
it just felt like no kidding. When they
Right.
answered it, it just kind of felt like, yeah, that's pretty obvious.
So
They're like, yeah, we prioritize blockers first. Wow.
yeah, so their development will take priority unless it's something that like is game breaking and they have to fix it. Is the short version.
Shocked.
There you go. Question 8: balancing the damage system. So this was, now that it's all a physical based system, will it be as easy to tweak and balance as it was previously? And yeah, essentially it is. It's just the values that we balance are now mass and acceleration and all of this stuff instead of this random number that we just arbitrarily assign to it. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
it sounds like doing it this way is going to speed up performance. Make performance better in the game
Yeah.
as well.
I mean, I don't really, without looking at it, I can't really tell you like what's better, but I'll take their word for it. I'm sure they're smarter than I am, so there you go. Well,
I will-
they might not be, but I'm sure the guys they've got doing it are smarter than I
There
am.
you go.
Yeah. Question 9: upgrade variations between ships. So, with the different types of ships and the sizes between variants, will we see differences between all the parts? Yes. I mean, that's the whole point behind doing it. So, of course, there will be differences between sizes and CPUs and heat sinks and weapons and pipelines and blah, 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 blah. It's kind
Yep.
of a no brainer. That's the whole point behind doing it. Why are you even asking this?
Yep. I got nothing. Yep.
It's harsh, but it's like my honest feels like why bother asking when it's the whole point behind making variations is to allow for this stuff.
I just kind of glossed over this one. I
Yeah.
didn't like my brain turned off as soon as the question got done because I was like, I know the answer already.
Yeah.
But okay. Anyway,
Well, they've done several design posts and they've done several questions
Yep.
where it's like, this is what's going on. This is how we're going forward.
Yep.
Now, this could be a new backer who submitted this question. That's possible, but at the same time, this 10 for the Producers 5. We've got like 50-10 for the Chairmans. We've got 40 episodes of Around the Verse. We've got all these design posts. We've got all these like player-based things everywhere. You've got Reddit. You've got the forums. You've got all these different locations. There are sites dedicated just to questions about Star Citizen. You're gonna
Right.
waste your question for something that would have been like easy to find in under 5 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, I
Just,
I feel like this dude just caved under pressure, or gal, whatever.
Dude or
Caved
gal.
under the pressure of being like, "Oh, I'm gonna ask a question this week," and just kind of was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
yeah." But
Well, and I feel like they answer these questions because they're coming at it from the mindset of not everybody knows, right?
Yep.
Which I get, but at the same time, if it's something you've answered multiple times, don't answer it again. Pick a different question.
Right, there's no reason. Like, I don't know exactly how they submit these questions because I'm not a
Right.
subscriber. But like, if it's on a forum, which is what I'm assuming they do, is they just have the subscriber forum and they just have a sticky post or whatever where they're like, post your questions for this week's,
Right.
10 for the Producers. Okay, so why can't like a forum moderator just be like, oh, this one was already answered?
and
Here,
you can find
here's
it
a
here.
link.
Yeah.
Yeah, get on that.
Anyway, question 10. I'm just moving on because I'm so annoyed. Like, at least it wasn't a question about using multiple subscription accounts.
That's a freaking NPC question.
Oh, God. At least it wasn't one of those.
Uh,
So question 10, top speed limitations and potential expansions. So this one, I didn't know that CryEngine had a limit of around 500 meters per second. But apparently CryEngine initially had that limit, and they've kind of expanded it now that they can go to 64-bit. But do they necessarily want to allow people to move faster than that? It doesn't sound like they did. So they're going to have more variation in the ships themselves and their acceleration and turn rates than they will on the overall top speed.
I had a follow-up question to this question.
Okay.
Is the 500 meters per second speed limit just for like player characters, or is it for any object
Ooh, so like
in the
bullets
game?
and I would assume bullets can go faster, right?
Well, they should, but I'm starting to wonder if they can't. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
actually, this question was a good question, I thought. And on top of that, it raised another question with me. I'm like, wait, so the top speed for bullets is 500 meters per second in the game? Is that what I'm understanding?
Well,
Like rockets?
they have said that bullets and missiles and all that will be physical objects, so they're
Yeah.
physicalized. So if they can only go 500 meters, that would not make sense because shouldn't they inherit the velocity of whoever's shooting them? So like you've got
Yep.
a ship already going 500 meters per second, shooting a bullet that also goes 500 meters per second. It should go 1,000 meters per second. It shouldn't be going
Well,
500.
yeah, relative to
Yeah.
a stationary reference frame. Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right.
So
This raised a lot of questions in my mind. I was like, this has to be like a limitation on like how fast like whatever object a user is physically interacting with or a
I
part
guess.
of. I don't know. Anyway,
Well, like what do
someone
our
who's a
ships
subscriber
actually go?
asked.
What do our ships actually go? Because they give us a number that's like 200. Is that 200 meters per second, or is that
Yeah,
you know? So that is 200 meters per second. So
right.
what's the fastest ship right now? Like 350 meters per second, something like that.
What does the M50 go? I think it's only 300, isn't it? Or is it
Okay,
350?
so how fast do the lasers go off of an M50? They're catching other ships moving away from it.
Right.
So
They have to go faster than 200 meters a second.
yeah. So but they're not inheriting velocity. So let's say they go 500, right?
Right.
Ah, God,
I don't know. Yep. I hurt my brain thinking about it, and I was like, not
Well,
a subscriber. I can't
Like we
ask.
said, we're just speculating. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
someone who's a subscriber, ask for us, please.
I feel like this will probably be a design post in like 10 months. Where like
Probably.
this is how physical objects will accelerate, and this is how bullets gain momentum from the ship that fire them or the person that fires them. You know,
Right.
so
Right. Well, I know they had to fix it where missiles weren't gaining the momentum from the ships that were.
I don't
being
think that's
fired from.
fixed yet. I think that's
Is it
still.
not fixed?
I think that's still a known bug.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It's a small issue comparatively, frankly.
Right.
So
right.
they're not going to clean that up. Well, let's cut over to Clean Shot, Nexus Comtraps. This was a radio inverse show that they do, but it's all text, so don't expect to be looking for like a podcast or something insane out there. So it's a radio show. They had an in-universe ad, which I kind of liked, you know. They also had the Nessus system discussion. It's a pirate-infested scum villainy hive, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of like that there are systems out there that are dealing with pirates and dealing with all these problems that you can go and be like a cop in, you know?
Right. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, it's a nice homage to what's out there. And they also had an interview with Yazeda Finch, a retired UEE admiral, talking about all the stuff the pirates are doing. So it was kind of like, oh, this is something you can do as a pirate. You can like mess with the price rates to influx a higher amount of cargo haulers. So I assume that's something you're going to be able to do with your heralds to,
Yeah.
you know, go to a comm relay, say, oh, this thing is now worth 500 instead of 400, and now all of a sudden you see more people and you can rob them, you know?
Yeah. I agree. I thought this was really cool. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's really interesting. That would be fun to like,
Oh,
set
totally.
up a dummy price on stuff and be like, oh, look at all these haulers coming in.
Yeah, like silver is now worth 5 times its normal, worth at the system. And oh, look,
Well,
now we've got all this silver and we can sell it and crash the market because we feel like it.
exactly.
Yeah. Then we also
Yay!
have the Galactic Guide Vega system.
Yay!
This was the second Galactic Guide this week. Barely got it in for the show because it came out today. So the Vega system has a G-type main sequence star. I have no idea what that means. Do you happen to
Not off
know?
the top of my head.
All right, no idea what that means, but it sounds impressive. Good job. Is on the front lines of the Vanduul conflict. It was once in the running to be like Terra Earth, but since the Vanduul took out so much territory, it's now kind of sitting there and just kind of waiting to be invaded, although it hasn't happened yet. I'm kind of feeling like it will probably be like, oh, we finally got this place to a reputable location. In comes a Vanduul armada, and it's a big event.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. There are lots of settlers who have left to avoid this Vanduul, so there's cheap real estate everywhere that's kind of bringing people back, and they're coming because cheap real estate is more appetizing and blah blah blah. You don't really care about the Vanduul as much as having a cheap home. That's awesome. So
It's Space Detroit.
it really is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. It was like
It'd be
Cleveland
like
and Detroit.
if Canada was full of bloodthirsty savages. Not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. But if Canada was full of bloodthirsty savages.
Toronto's their staging area. They're just waiting to invade.
Yep, they're all drinking. They're all drinking their moose ales, and they're eating their poutine, and
Oh my god.
they're getting ready to come for us all.
I fear the Canadians, everybody.
What you talking about?
Oh no.
Oh, and we just lost all our subscribers who are Canadian. Oh well.
All like 6 of them.
Aww.
Thank you,
Anyway,
Canadian subscribers.
they're like, we don't eat poutine. Screw you guys.
Yeah, they do. They love that stuff.
Shh. Don't. No. Shh. Quiet.
Hey, and the hockey playoffs are going on right now.
That's
so
true. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Shout out to all my hockey fans. Well, because I'm a hockey fan.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Ah.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Moving on. I'm gonna let it sit for a second and moving on. So,
right.
Vega 1, and this planet is a dwarf planet. There's nothing of note, which means to me there's probably something awesome to be found there. So,
Right.
anytime they say, "Oh, there's nothing of note here," there's something amazing there.
Exactly.
It's very rarely, oh, we show up and we find nothing.
That's the first planet I'm going to in this system.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta check this out.
Yeah, the nothing of note planet, and all of a sudden you find like an ancient civilization or some crap.
Woohoo.
Yeah. Vega 2, also known as Aramis, has planetary rings and small moons, which is pretty cool. It's home for a lot of military bases and very popular for shore leave. There are cities, farmland. Its largest city is New Kovo, and it's starting to rival Vega 3 Selene in terms of like size and prominence. They want to get their own senator in the UEE, for example. So
This planet just sounds like beautiful to like approach.
right,
Like with like the rings and the moons.
it's like Alderaan except with like cool moons and rings around it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. Like all of these places sound cool to visit, but you can't really tell until you go there what it's actually like.
Right.
Vega 3 sounded actually really interesting to me. It's the one that's also called Selene. The largest city is Titus, which is a megalopolis. There's lots of unfinished construction projects that people are starting to buy up and try and finish to bring it back to prominence. It has a lot of the Orion system survivors. So the Orion system was where the Vanduul attacked and killed a bunch of people, and they all ran away. And the Orion survivors that live there pretty much give missions for people to go and kill Vanduul. It's like a high risk, low reward, but hey, you can go kill Vanduul and we'll give you missions for it. So
Sounds like it might be like kind of a quote unquote late game kind of mission area.
I don't know. It's hard to tell because
Yeah.
it probably depends on the type of mission, because I'm sure there's missions where it's like, oh, just kill like 10 Vandal fighters, or there's probably a mission where it's like, destroy this Vandal frigate, or destroy this Vandal fleet. It all scales relative.
I want to destroy a Vandal frigate.
I want to capture a Vandal frigate.
That too.
How badass would that be? You
That'd be
come,
pretty sweet.
oh, that'd be,
For some reason, the thing that I picture in my mind
uh
for a Vandal frigate is Java's hover barge in Return of the Jedi. I don't know
Really?
why. That's what comes to my mind when I think of it. I don't know why.
I think more of like the shadows from Babylon 5 with like those weird branched off things and like
Oh.
the weird matted blat look. It's,
Okay,
it's probably more like a Narn cruiser, if anything.
that's true. Actually, yeah,
I don't know.
I like it.
Whatever. I still want one. Like, I'm actually more interested in getting Vandal ships just for aesthetics than I am UEE ships.
I'm kind of the same way, except with the Xi'an. I
Okay.
really want to get Xi'an ships. I really like the Xi'an Scout, so the Cartual.
You mean the Jean?
Don't.
Nah.
I purposely
I know.
pronounced it right.
I know.
Damn it! I had to sit there and think about it. I'm like, don't say Jean. Don't say
Don't say
Jean.
Jean. Don't say Jean. Damn it!
Damn it.
Oh, man.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm sad that they changed the pronunciation. Oh, well.
Yep.
Yeah, they do look cool. Like, I can't wait to see your car through all when it's finally in game. They've got the
I know.
models out now for it, for the
I know.
subscribers.
I know. So much
Yeah.
jelly.
You want some jam, or you good with just jelly? I'm good with just jelly. Well, and then otherwise in the system we also have an asteroid belt, which is owned by the UEE. It's not really patrolled, and it's been already heavily mined out. It's kind of a training area for aspiring miners, so I bet that's going to be like some early gameplay for mining, is to go to this place and get like a couple of loads of ore, of carbon, or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
We'll see. And then Vega 4 is a gas giant, which is a fuel stop for larger spacecraft. It's got a lot of locally owned refineries and the like on there, so pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know. There's so many cool systems now, it's starting to get hard to keep track.
Oh, I know.
Like, you got some that stick out to your mind, like Helios, because of all the weird stuff that's at Helios. But, like, I don't know where I want to go and where I want to spend the most time. And, like, there's so much that's going to be able to do that. It's going to be like, I could spend, a month in a system and probably still not see everything. And then
Yep.
go to another place and, like, be bored after a day. It's just hard to tell.
Right. Well, it kind of reminds me when I first started playing Eve, where I just got obsessed with like checking out every planet in a system and every, point of interest. I mean, first you got experience for
Right.
doing it, but like secondly, just because they were all cool and unique, and I didn't know what I was gonna find there, and
Right.
it's just like I'm such an explorer at heart. Like I just want to see everything, and it's
Yep.
I'm gonna God. The first like month of me playing this game is gonna mostly be exploration.
Yeah, which is not bad. That's kind of why I bought the freelancer in the first place, was just to fly around and like look at stuff. So
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I can either
Ah.
use my Constellation or the 325.
yeah.
Should have jump drives on it to do all that. So
Oh man, get hyped. Get
I know I am the hype.
Hyped. Yep. Well, that's pretty much everything Star Citizen related that I had. It's
Yeah.
a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it was nice because it was it's kind of an off week in a way. We didn't have
Yeah.
any major design posts. We didn't have any major patches.
Yeah,
Kind of, just kind of here's a
normal week again. Yeah,
Yeah,
until it gets
right.
crazy. Can you imagine what it's going to be like once FPS drops and we've got all the motion capture stuff coming back? And
Well, yeah. I mean,
Ugh.
we'll have to do like an FPS episode on its own.
you think?
I think so because it's
Well, like,
gonna.
I'm sure there's going to be balance issues. Like off the
Oh,
bat, there's no way it's
tons.
not going to have balance issues.
Oh, it's gonna be horribly imbalanced.
It's like,
No way
only
it's
use
that.
this armor with this gun because it's way better. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
But I'm looking forward to it. I'm
Yeah,
really looking forward to FPS.
I want it now.
I
Now.
know.
Oh, well.
So any video games you've been playing outside of our normal rotation?
Not really. I did see that. Crap. What's it called? The gratuitous space battles. There's a second one now. Apparently,
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if I'd pick it up. But...
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the first one.
See, I
Like,
liked the first one. I
Yeah.
appreciated it.
Yeah, I appreciate it for what it is, but it wasn't my jam.
Wasn't your jam or your
I'm
jelly?
into jam and jelly today. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. Yeah, I saw that came out. There was also a couple others that were
Killing
interesting
Floor
looking.
2.
Yeah.
I just came out today, I think.
Did it? Oh wow.
Or yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, you know what came out that we didn't talk about last time? Star Wars trailer.
Oh my god, that's right, of course.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and the new Batman
wow.
v Superman trailer too.
I haven't watched that yet because
Oh.
I just assume it's gonna be bad, but I don't know. That's how like.
Wait,
little, like,
we're still talking Star Wars, right? Oh.
No. All right. Well, okay. So let's talk about the Star Wars trailer because
Okay.
that has to be talked about.
All right.
So
we already talked about this in
did.
length, not
we
on
did.
the podcast.
I barely remember any of the conversation.
Oh. Wow.
Only because you were involved.
I'm used to this abuse. Whatever.
All right, get us rolling.
I'm flipping you off, by the way, through the internet.
Those gestures aren't going to be allowed in Star Citizen.
It's like the Guardians of the Galaxy, where
Yes.
you know Chris Pratt is like rolling, dude.
Yes.
Oh
And then they
my!
gotta
Obscene
censor it.
gesture alert. Yeah.
That's good.
So Star Wars came out with the trailer for the second one, and for the Star Wars Celebration stuff that's been going on. If you watched any of the like chat on YouTube, by the way, it was horrible chat. And like I think it was like a good 2 solid hours of people just saying blah 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 confirmed, blah blah blah, blah confirmed, whatever they could think of confirmed.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that.
Like Carrie Fisher reprises Slave Leia outfit confirmed, that type of thing, you know.
Yeah, I have learned from Twitch chat that watching live stream chats is
Not worth it. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty horrible.
So let's talk about the Star Wars trailer. So they had the opening shot was the Tatooine desert, and then there's a crashed Star Destroyer in the distance, and they got the crashed X-wing, and then they had like a bunch of smash cuts moving between like various people and places, and then you got like the new Stormtrooper armors they're showing off, the new TIE fighters they're showing off, and then like the new X-wings flying, and it's kind of that same scene we saw before from the first trailer where it's X-wings flying close to like water, but there's more of them and more shots, and you know.
Right, and some dude yelling woohoo.
Woohoo, yeah. Well, and then lightsabers, and they showed Luke's lightsaber that he'd lost at Cloud City being handed to somebody, and then they also had like over this was Mark Hamill going, "Oh, the Force is strong in my family. My sister has it. I have it. You have it." So clearly, it's a child of one of them is going to be in the film. We don't know if it's Leia's or Luke's. And then also at the end they have Chewbacca and Han on what is presumably the Millennium Falcon with their weapons drawn, and Harrison Ford's like, "Oh, hey Chewie, we're home," or whatever the line was. So
Yeah.
that's in a nutshell what has happened in the trailer.
Right, brings a tear to your eye.
Aw, no it didn't.
You heartless bastard. Kidding.
My honest reactions, it has me way more excited for it than the first trailer.
Yep.
That said, it still had the stupid rolling robot with the stupid head thing in it.
We're not getting away from that at this point. It's over.
Stop,
It's done.
Stop with the Jar Jar Binks kitty crap.
Right.
I'm sorry, but stop with it. It was ruining Star Wars. The Jar Jar Binks kitty crap from the original movies was R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Right, but even then they weren't like super kiddie.
Right. They served an actual purpose instead of just being for stupid laughs.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, they had the laughs, but they were like useful and helped progress the story and help anyway. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That being said, like a lot of the scenes felt a little darker. Like there's like that TIE fighter shooting up the hangar.
Right.
Like some people could have freaking died. You know?
People die all the time in Star Wars. Like if you remember Revenge of the Sith, Yoda's throwing a lightsaber through the stormtrooper's chest. And they're like cutting their heads off and all this crap. I mean,
yeah, that's true. A whole lot of people died in the second one, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, that too. So like,
yeah, that's true.
I don't feel like that's quote unquote darker.
You have a good point.
We'll see. I didn't see as many lens flares as I expected, though, for a J.J. Abrams movie.
Thank God.
I could actually like watch the trailer without
I
like
know.
light literally shining in my eye from virtually every freaking angle imaginable.
All right. Do I need to bring sunglasses into the movie theater with me? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on. Yeah, it raised my expectations for the movie slightly.
probably only to just shatter them when it actually comes out, though.
Right, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
I refuse to get excited about this movie because I got way too excited about every one of the prequels,
You're
and
like,
I
oh,
just
maybe
kept
it'll be
getting
different this time. Nope.
yeah, I kept getting massively disappointed. I mean, the third one wasn't horrendous, but it still wasn't even close to the original three. So I don't
It
know.
was the fourth best Star Wars film. Now it might be the fifth once this one comes out.
God, I hope so,
Yeah.
but I'm not holding my breath.
So, full disclosure, you also hate the new Star Trek movies, though, too.
I do.
So, I like the new Star Trek movies, but I like them as movies. I don't feel like they're Star Trek. I feel
Right.
like they're action movies with Star Trek characters.
Right. Yeah, we've talked about this. I'm
Yeah.
not the biggest fan of J.J. Abrams.
Well,
So
yeah.
we'll see. But I think you made a good point when we were talking about this, where you said, yeah, they're not they even though they call them Star Trek, they're not really Star Trek movies. But
Right.
that being said, that style does suit itself better to Star Wars,
Right.
and I tend to agree with you there. You're right. That's a good point.
Oh man, there were some cool shots though from
Yes.
the trailer of like the Millennium Falcon trying to run from a Tie Fighter, and they go through like
Oh
the
my
engine of
God.
the destroyed Star Destroyer and all that
That's a
stuff.
Super Star Destroyer, by the way. I went back and re-looked at that.
That
That's
was an
definitely a
ISD.
Super Star Destroyer. No,
That
because
had
it
to be.
has another set of triple engines that you can see in the background. Go look at it again. I'm pretty sure that's a Super. I'm pretty
It
sure
can't
that's an
be.
SSD.
It cannot be an SSD. It would take up way more space on the like. You wouldn't be able to see desert. There would just be wreckage everywhere if it was an SSD.
You're right, but it looked like an SSD because it has another set of triple engines. Like
Well, they've changed the look of everything else. This could be
Well, that's
like a
true.
newer version. It could be like an ISD 3 or ISD 4.
Whatever.
You know.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It could be that. Yeah.
But it did not look like. Reason I say it doesn't look like it is because the neck's completely different from how an SSD neck looks. It's way more bulkier because the SSD is a lot more slimmer looking neck than an original ISD. Even though it's larger, the overall appearance is smaller. Plus,
Yeah,
it would
that's
be.
true. Those engines should be bigger. Now that you
Yeah.
mention that, they should be a lot bigger.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you're talking probably engines that are half a kilometer in diameter.
All I remember is the engine wash sucks from X-Wing Alliance.
Yeah, the engine wash is pretty horrible.
It's like, oh, my shields are gone. What the hell? Stupid executor.
Well, okay, so yeah, we're cautiously optimistic about the new Star Wars trailer. Is basically what it boils down to. Extremely cautiously
I'm
optimistic.
still super pissed about the cross-gun lightsaber, and I'm not pissed about it like fanboy. Oh, it's you know they're ruining it by making a change. I'm pissed because it's the most impractical freaking thing I've ever seen. And everyone's like, no, it's good. It'll protect your hand. Yeah, it's protecting your hand while you're stabbing yourself all the time with it. It's freaking lightsaber. The metal guards work because they're metal. These are plasma guards. They don't work
Right.
the same.
Right. I totally agree. It bothers me, but
Whatever.
whatever. I just kind of have to let that one go.
I'll never let it go.
I know you're not. I know you well enough to know you're not.
I'm never gonna let that go.
Uh,
Like the only way it will be redeemed in my eyes is when he stabs himself, and that's like part of the movie. They're like, where it's like Luke's like, "This is why you don't put those things on," and he like hits him with it, and then he like stabs himself, and I'm like, "Yes, that's correct. That is right." But they won't do it.
no. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Well, any TV movies? I think we talked about Daredevil.
Yeah, I
last
watched
week.
all of
You
that.
watched
Yeah.
Daredevil.
I liked it. I thought it was good. I know you don't care, so
No, I'm not gonna watch it.
yeah, you're not gonna watch it because you're a bastard.
I should, because I actually kind of like Daredevil, but maybe I'll watch it.
Ben Affleck is just Ben Affleck has
Such
ruined
a
you for
sour
Daredevil, and
face.
now he's ruined you for Batman v
For
Superman.
Batman.
Like,
That might be right.
I liked the last Superman movie, but I also didn't like it at the same time.
I haven't watched it.
I felt it was a pretty solid like B score. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
like
That's not horrible then.
it's not my favorite movie ever, but it's also not bad. You know,
Yeah.
um, the Batman v Superman trailer. I don't know. Like, here's the thing about Batman. Batman's the Batman's Batman. You know, that's it. Batman is Batman. He's awesome. But like, let's face facts. Batman v Superman, he knocks him into the atmosphere and he's dead. End of fight.
Yeah, I mean, if Batman needs a lot of time to prepare to fight people. Like that's his strength, right? He
Right.
plans and he's strategic and tactical. But if
But there's
but if
nothing you
like
can do to prepare against Superman. There's nothing you
well
can do. The
well
guy had literally enough strength he can blow up the planet anytime he wants to if he just hits it fast enough.
well they've dealt with this in some Justice League stuff where like freaking Batman has like a huge like storehouse of kryptonite just in case
Right.
Superman goes rogue or something.
Right, and he's got all these robots and suits and crap like that. But like,
Right.
let's be real. If Superman wanted to, he just picks him up and throws him into the upper stratosphere, and he's dead.
Right. If Superman, doesn't go complete idiot, like he can just be like, yeah, all right, well, I'll wait for Batman for his guard to be down since I have X-ray vision and I can wait for him to like, take
Yeah.
a shower or something and fly in there and throw him into space. Like,
he goes to attack him, but Batman was prepared, and like his
dude,
shower
we're
is
gonna
actually
get,
like a
we're gonna
kryptonite
get,
shower.
we're gonna get the Batman defenders in here, man. And I do not want to have that argument. You can have that argument.
Well,
This is
the reason Batman always
You're the
wins is
DC
because
guy.
the reason Batman always wins is because he's Batman. That's pretty much the rule. Like, he'll have whatever he needs to win on his utility belt or back at the Batcave, or like it'll be some secret Wayne Tech project that he just picks up. That's literally the rule. Like, I think there's a like rule in comics that Batman has whatever he needs whenever he needs it. Just like it used to be the rule that Superman is good at everything except stuff he hasn't tried yet. You know.
Gotcha.
So this is all
There we
pre New 52, but still, I
Right.
think that's the general rule that they've always used. So
Yeah, I'll defer to you on that. I don't know.
well, there actually is an older one where it's like an old Batman and Superman fighting, and like Batman fakes his death fighting him, like he fakes having a heart attack and all this stuff.
Huh.
Um, but like he could have beat him because Green Arrow shot a kryptonite arrow at him while they were fighting, and blah 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 blah.
Oh, I see.
But it's all dumb.
Right.
There's
Like Batman and Superman would never ever fight. Like
Batman knows better.
Yeah, Batman knows better. Superman's actually like a good dude. Like, whatever. I can
Yeah.
never see it happening. Anyway,
I'm much more excited for Iron Man versus Captain America when that comes out,
oh yeah,
because that's like
so
Captain
yeah,
America 3 or whatever after
Right.
the new Ultron movie.
right? Because that's the precursor to the whole big war, and now I can't remember the name of it. Wow.
Well, I think actually the Captain America
mutant,
movie.
whatever war, like the mutant registration wars or whatever they call it. Because
Well, it's like superhero registration that they tried to do with
Yeah.
Marvel. I think
Yeah.
that's what they're doing with Captain America 3. Is
Okay.
Captain America and Iron Man are on different sides, and people join one or the other.
right, because in the comics, Iron Man was on the government side where he thinks mutants should have to register, and Captain America was on the other side where they shouldn't.
Well, it wasn't just mutants; it was like all heroes.
All heroes, okay.
Yeah, so, like-
yeah, well, yeah, includes Thor. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because Thor is technically not a mutant. Yeah, trying to think if I've watched anything else. I started watching an anime that a lot of people have recommended from last year called Shirobako,
Okay.
and it's about an anime studio that makes anime. So it's an anime about making anime, kind of meta or whatever.
That's yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It gives you a really like honest like look into the lives of people who make anime
hmm
and how like it's kind of sucks. Like
Their lives suck, or the anime
their
sucks?
lives kind of suck.
Oh, okay.
Like they are constantly working when it's when it's time to make anime.
Crunch time.
Yeah, and like everything is super hectic, and
Well,
you have
they
to
come
do
out with a new episode every week.
for the most part. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah, and even then, like if they decide to change a storyline or a plot line, or they don't like the art and they have to go back and redo it and all this other stuff. So actually, I've actually been really enjoying it, and it's very character driven, very good overall. Actually, I'd recommend it so far. I'm only
nice.
like 10 episodes in, but
Yeah, I haven't got any new stuff. All the shows that I typically watch have been winding down lately, so I'm looking forward to having free time and not watching a show a night and reading manga every night and all that stuff. Fairy
right.
Tale's still going, by the way.
Oh, I know. I was like, when you told me that you thought they might be wrapping up Fairy Tale, I was kind of like, nah, they're
Nope.
not gonna wrap that
I
up.
thought I thought they would have wrapped it up, and then like they went with another arc, and I'm like, come on,
Yeah,
really?
so
Like they did a year time skip, and like they're still going, and I'm like,
I don't
again?
know. Yeah, I don't know if this is in the manga or not. Right now in the anime, they're in a town that's like frozen. Is that in the manga, or is this another
Yeah,
freaking? Okay,
it's like
that
giants and stuff, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's in it.
Okay, cool. Then I'm glad we're back to non-filler stuff.
Because
And
filler sucks.
uh, the filler was pretty bad
Yeah.
as usual. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, the manga's not much farther beyond that, actually. You're like maybe 2 arcs behind, if that. That includes like the year time skip arc that they're on right now. So,
oh okay,
like, Natsu disappears for like a year and then comes back, and like everything's different, and like he's trying to find all the members of Fairy Tale and all this stuff. I won't say why, but
oh okay,
And he comes
yeah,
back like stupid strong too.
oh okay. Oh,
It's
I'm
it's
looking
like
forward to that.
ridiculous.
I'll look forward to that then.
Like, think of like Natsu doing ridiculous shit, but now being able to get away with it because he's strong enough to get away with it. Where it's like usually he'd like do something ridiculous and get his ass handed to him, right?
Yeah.
Eventually win. But now it's just like, no, I'm just gonna one shot all this crap because I
Oh
feel
boy.
like it, and
Oh
then
boy.
be completely obstinate about what I want to do, and everybody has to deal with it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
really quite entertaining.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, when they get to it in 6 years.
Heh,
Not
I can
that
wait.
long. 2 years.
Nah, probably not.
Yeah.
All
Anywho.
right. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more. I'm just not thinking of it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that is it for this week's episode of the Flight Deck. We will catch you guys next week.
Peace.